Howdy, howdy. This is Richard Hay, and I'm here narrating the video of the four feeds of the final table in Hallettsville for the Kolache Fest that was played on September 28th, 2024. There were 73 teams in Hallettsville. It's the second largest 42 tournament in the world, and this is the final table of that tournament. So here they've shaken, and they are actually beginning to play hand number one. And in this one, let's look at Mickey's hand. Mickey is going to go in 32 and sixes, and he's going to make it. So they end up winning 1-0. But that is going to unfold. In the meantime, I'll just go back a little bit about what happened to get to this point. So Charles and Mickey were the number 7 seeds, so they actually got a first round bye. And in the second round, they beat Christy Jarvis and Morgan Scott that made it to the final table of the Kolache Fest last year and finished second, but they got knocked out in the second round this year by Mickey and Charles. They also were able to defeat Paul B. and Harrison in the final four to make it to this final match. And then Paul B. is an architect who went to the University of Texas. Harrison has won the Kolache Fest in the past, but he did not make it to the final table this year. And Leslie Scherbel and Aaron Kunchik. Aaron had won the Kolache Fest twice before this final table. So he's won the Kolache Fest multiple occasions with different partners. They were the number 16 seed, so that hand just resolved, and then now it's 1-0 in favor of Mickey and Charles. And now Aaron is shaking. And so, let's see. Aaron is shaking the second hand. And then we can see that Aaron is, they're going to go through the bidding. Everyone's pulling their dominoes right now. And Aaron is going to go in fours. He's got the 5-5. He's got the 4-6 and the 5-4 and the 4 blank and the 4-3. He's got a 6 off. He's got a 1 blank off. So he's going to bid 36 on this hand to basically try and tie the game at 1. Now you can see that when he goes in fours, of course he's going to punt out of the gate because he doesn't have the double. Another problem he has, he doesn't have the 4-1. So he throws the 5-4. And then you can see that, Charles, that he loses the 4-1 on the first trick. And then he also, actually, Charles threw the 3-2, he was void. And then Leslie had to throw the 4-1. And then Mickey had the 4-4. So he lost 2 nickels, and that was too much to make a 36. It was a pretty decent hand, except for, he had 4 4s, but because he had so many of them, Charles was void. And so it's 2-0 in favor of Charles and Mickey right now. So in terms of Leslie and Aaron, they were the number 16 seed. They did not get a first round bye. They did play Art Kirby and James Young in round 1 of the tournament, which Art Kirby and James Young were in the final table of the Hallettsville State Championship back in March, but they got knocked out in the first round of the Kolache Fest tournament on September 28th. So they also beat Justin and John, a pair of Aggies, to make the final table. An interesting thing about Justin and John, they knocked out Mark Tinsley and Jim Osina in the round of 8 to make it to the final 4. So Leslie and Aaron did not have to face the legend and Jim Osina from Madisonville. They faced Justin and John instead. They did defeat them. And Justin and John went on to go play Paul B. and Harrison for 3rd and 4th. And Justin and John won, so they finished 3rd, and Paul and Harrison finished 4th. But this is the final table between the two teams that made it all the way to be the final two teams. So you could see that in the second game, Aaron brought it. So Charles shook this one. He bid 36, and he gets set. Let's see. Everybody plays the dominoes, and Charles he collects most of them. He gets a bunch of tricks. And it comes down to the last two. And then Mickey plays a 3 off. And Aaron wins it. And Leslie's able to throw either the 5-5 or the 6-4. And both of them set Charles. So Charles gets set. So now it's 2-1 in favor of Charles and Mickey over Leslie and Aaron at the moment. Charles and Mickey have 2 marks, and Leslie and Aaron only have 1 mark. So, 2-1 in favor of Charles and Mickey in game 1 of the final table. The shortest number of games would be 2 games because it's basically best 2 out of 3. So whichever team wins 2 games first wins the tournament. And that's where we're at right now. So now you can see that Leslie shook this one. So Mickey will be the first bidder. And in this case, I think, let's see. So let's look at Mickey's hand. He's got, I don't know, is he going to bid? That's hard to say. I doubt it. He's got a 5 off, a couple of 5 offs. But Aaron, he bids 35 in 4s. It works out a little better for him this time. He was trying to get the 4-6. He did get the 4-6. So now he punts. And Aaron is strategically working to get his 35 bid, which he does. And now it's 2-2. And then Mickey will shake. So Mickey will shake, and then they're going to go around the table and let's see here. So these two teams are familiar with each other. They both bid aggressively. And you can see that the cameras are positioned so you can see Charles's hand. Now, Charles sometimes will put his arm so he blocks the camera feed somewhat. Leslie's pretty good about it. You can see all her dominoes. And then Aaron, you can see his. And then Mickey, it's easy to see his dominoes too. Really only Charles is the only blocker. I guess I could have talked to him about it, but... So Leslie was keeping score. It's interesting. We presented the option. Art had in Hallettsville in March. Art had proposed that there be a third-party stenographer to keep score. So we offered that to Charles and Mickey, and they agreed that would be fine with them. Someone that would be keeping score on the side, just after every hand, announce the state of the marks and then whose shake it was. But Aaron refused. He did not want to do that. And he even said it was because it had been a long day and Leslie was fading and he needed her to keep score to keep focus. So he really was unwilling to have a third-party stenographer in this game. Let's see. Oh, at this particular hand, it's interesting. Aaron was trying to figure out who played what. So he asked, and it was Charles that had played the double. So Aaron threw off instead of throwing count because Leslie was not wanting the trick. And Charles wanted to know if a judge would rule whether Aaron could ask that. And Daryl said it was okay to ask who played what. And because it was unclear that the dominoes had kind of been shifted out onto the table. So once it made it clear, then Aaron was able to set him. And so then that makes it 2-3. So Charles and Mickey have 2, and Leslie and Aaron have 3 marks at this point. So Aaron's shaking. Everybody's pulling their 7 dominoes. Also, this table, the table actually says it's for the Texas State Championship, and it's got a nice little 5-5 on it. It's got the Knights of Columbus logo in Boston on it. The 2433 number of this particular Knights of Columbus. So it's a beautiful table. I mean, it's different than the other tables in that it's got this special, pattern printed on it, and the other tables are plain. So that makes this a nice table for a video recording like this, where you're actually looking at the table, you're looking at the forehands, you're able to see the who has what. Let's see. So in this one, and of course there is the opportunity for people to pass, and if it's pass, then they just advance the shake, and there's no mark awarded to either team. So you can see Leslie is keeping score, and she marks down that in this case, let's see, Mickey is going to bid 31. He's going to go in 3s. Once he got the 6-4, he was able to punt a 4. So Mickey is on the path to making his 31. Let's see, so they did get 1 trick. And now Aaron's deciding what to lead. I assume he'll lead the 5 blank. But we'll see what he does. He does lead the 5 blank. Of course, Mickey has the 5-5 to win that, and then he has the final 3, high 3, to win the final trick and make his bid. So he lost the 6-4 and he lost a trick, but he did not. That's not enough to set 31. So yeah, there you go. Now Charles is shaken. Right now the game is tied at 3, so it's 3-3 between the 2 teams at the final table in the Kolache Fest in Hallettsville, Texas. So they're pulling their dominoes all together. And on this hand, Mickey is going to win the bid. So Leslie, I think she bids, but then Mickey bids over her. And he's going to go in blanks. And he's got blank 2, blank 5, blank 6. He's also got double 1, 5, 5, and 4, 4, and the 5, 1 behind the 5, 5. So he feels pretty strong about bids 35. And then he leads the low blank. And Charles has the blank blank. So he wins the first trick. And then he comes back and he leads. What does Charles lead? He leads the 6, 6. So he's got a strong lead that will support his partner. Oh, I believe actually when he throws 6, 6 that Mickey. Let's see what Mickey does. He's thinking about it. Oh, he trumps it with the blank 5. And then he throws his 4, 4. And so this hand actually, because Charles had the blank blank and leads, it made sense that basically it was going to be an easy win for Mickey and Charles. Since Mickey had the blank 6 and the blank 5 after the blank blank to fish the rest of the blanks and then win the hand at his 35 bid. So this is going to actually put them ahead 4-3, Mickey and Charles ahead of Leslie and Aaron. So they are in the process of figuring out. Right. And so that hand resolved, and it's now 4-3 in favor of Mickey and Charles. So the next, so it looks like this next hand, Leslie is shaking. And then they're going to distribute the dominoes. Leslie and Aaron are trailing 3-4. So it's neck and neck at the moment in game 1 of the final table. So they all pull. In this case, Leslie shook, so Mickey is going to be the first liar, and then Aaron, and then Charles and Leslie will have the last opportunity to bid. So in this particular hand, Leslie is Charles is going to go 31, and he goes in aces, and Leslie has Acey Deucey and 1-4, and Charles led the 6-6. Leslie trumped it with the she trumps it with the 1-4, and then Aaron threw the 6-4, and Charles was set on the first trick. So no 6s for Leslie, but 2 trumps, and she trumped it with 1 that would set Charles immediately, the nickel, and then when the dime fell on the same trick, can't make any bid if you lose 16. So then now it's 4-4. And that wasn't necessarily an unreasonable bid by Charles. It's just that he got unlucky that Leslie was void 6s and had the blank, the ace 4 to trump with to kill him, like right out of the gate. Did not even survive the first trick. So then right now you have Mickey shakes. Now in this case, Let's see. Charles is going to bid 31 again. And he basically punts. He's going in threes. Aaron wins the first trick and the 3-2. And Charles is the one who bid 31 in threes. And the game is tied currently 4-4. And so Leslie has the 5-5 and the 6-6 and the 6-5. Charles is completely black in his hand, so I can't even tell what he has. But he went threes. And Aaron has the 6-4, the 5 blank. So and in the end, Charles ends up having a 6 off, and Leslie catches it, and Aaron's able to throw 6-4 on it, and that's death to Charles. So Charles's 31 did not work, and they are currently trailing 4-5. And then now you have Aaron shaking the dominoes, and he'll bid last. So this is the hand where Charles bid 31 last hand, got set, and that put Leslie and Aaron up 5-4. And then this time Aaron is shaking, so he gets to bid last. And let's just look at Aaron's hand. Aaron has blank, blank, blank 6, blank 4, blank 2. He's also got 1-5, 1-6, and 4 blank. So Aaron actually, wow. With a 5 off and a 6 off, he actually bids 36 on this in blanks. And then, what happens is that he leads the blank and he fishes. Now, in this case, he gets lucky because Leslie has 3 blanks. And she's going to end up trumping his 4-4 lead because she didn't have any 4s with the 1 blank. Actually, I take it back. Leslie only had the 1 trump, but she does or she had 2 trumps. But she does trump the 4-4 lead, and then she comes back with 6-6 and 6-5. And that's enough to clean out Aaron's 6 off and his 5 off. And at that point, everything is clean. That the rest of the ones he has are the final 3 blanks. So then Aaron easily makes his 36. And they don't actually, I don't think they lose any tricks, actually. So, because of the way that Leslie won the 6-6 and the 5-5 after she trumped the 4-4 and then cleaned out Aaron's garbage. So that's it. So then you had so now Aaron and Leslie are up 6-4 in game 1. And that was a pretty quick game. Or so far, it's they're on the pole. But then because that in that hand, that's a really pretty aggressive bid. 6 off, 5 off. I mean, obviously he was hoping to get 4-6 with the 4-4. Instead, actually, Leslie was able to trump the 4-4 and then come back with 2 leads, the 6-6 and the 6-5. Then he can throw his 6 off. He can throw his 5 off. The rest of them are trumps, and he's got it. So he hit his partner, or at least she was able to. Now Leslie, that's one thing. She'll just if she can trump in and she has leads, she will do that. Not everybody loves that, but Leslie absolutely does that because she feels like it's the best way she can help her partner. Is like if the partner leads, even if it's a double, and they would win it if she doesn't trump it. She wants to get the lead so she can play her leads and then help her partner by getting rid of garbage. Okay, so they're on the pole, and Charles shook and Aaron bid 36. He went in blanks again. So in this case, he's got the 5-5, the 6-5, the 6-6. He played the two top blanks, and then now he's gonna basically, let's see. I think I want to say after he's got it, he just plays the 5-5. He does do that, so he's getting fives out, and then he goes ahead and in this case, Leslie did have 3. I think she ends up trumping his 6-5, even though it was gonna win. And she does trump his 6-5. She'll lead the 1-1. That'll fish his AC deucey, and then he's got the last trump. So Aaron and Leslie make the hand. Aaron's 36, and then they win the hand. They win the game. Game 1, 7-4. So after being tied at 4, Charles and Mickey did win another mark, and the last 3 marks Leslie and Aaron won to win game 1. So that's game 1. And here we go. We can actually look a little bit. We can look at the score sheet. Let me just bring that up here real quick. You have the score sheet for the game, and you can see here that here are the shakes, here are the winning bidders, the bids, the win-loss, and then you can see the final score is 7-4 in favor of Leslie and Aaron, which Leslie has written down as us, and them is Charles and Mickey. So now they're starting game 2 with Leslie and Aaron up 1-0, and it's best 2 out of 3. May the best team win. So this this game, first hand, Charles goes 84 out of the gate without the in fives, without the 5-5, which is a super high risk, high reward move. He does get lucky. Mickey does have the 5-5. So yes, Charles bids 84, punts the 5, and then Mickey leads the 6-6 back after winning the first trick. And then Charles is, I think he's just going to trump it. And he points out trump, 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 double, double. And so Charles makes his 84 because Mickey had the 5-5. And that made his hand. So now Charles and Mickey are up 2-0 out of the gate. And Aaron is shaking. So something about this hand is that the high bid is going to be 31 when it comes around to Aaron. And Aaron's going to bid 33. He's not going to bid 32, even though he's last, even though he's shook. Because he's got the heebie-jeebies about 32. Hates bidding 32, does not like bidding 32, even if he's last. So he just has a thing where he wants to bid 33. And actually, there was one time I remember we were playing for fun at Jody Batum's house, and he accidentally said 32, and I made him bid 32, and then he got set. He was like, "I am never bidding 32 again. You cannot make me." So here's another example where you cannot make him, and that it's going to go around, and then Aaron is going to bid 33, and he's going to go in force. Leads the double. He's also got the 4-6, and He's actually, in this case, he actually only has two. He only has the 4-4 and the 4-6. So he leads those two, and actually Charles has 3 on him. But Charles also has a 5 off, so when he leads the 5-5, it goes around, and he does not get the 5 blank, so he doesn't make his 33 quite yet. He has to lead the 2-2 first, and then Charles also has a 2 off, and the 2-3 falls, and then he has enough count to make. He's got 34 right now. As soon as this trick resolves. Now Charles had another trump, but who cares? There's not enough count. He's already got the count to make his bid. Even if Charles gets the rest of the tricks, he's not going to get enough count to set him. So Aaron made that mark, and it's now 2-1 in favor of Charles and Mickey. Mickey and Charles are up 2-1 because they made Charles's initial 84 bid, and then Aaron was able to make his 33 in the second hand. So now Charles, I believe he's shaken this one, so he has the hammer, which is the colloquialism for you're the shaker. So you get to bid last. Nobody can outbid you. So no matter what everybody else's bids, if you want to bid, you can bid over everyone, and then no one's behind you to bid higher. So you get the bid if you have the hammer. In this case, Charles has the 5-5. He's also got the 4-6, the 4-4, got the 6-5. Charles is going to go 31 in 4s. He's also 2-trumping it. But I believe in Charles's case that nobody has him 3 deep, so he does fine. Yeah, Leslie bid 30, pass, and then Charles is going to bid 31. Goes in 4s, leads the double. So the 4-1 does come out.
We're playing the game over here. We don't have time for this. You didn't have those instructions. It's your own fault.
And then he leads the 5-5.
Yeah, with Leslie. And we're playing Charles and Miguel.
And in 3 tricks, he has his 31. And that's enough. So, yeah. Okay, so that's so now Charles and Mickey are up 3-1. And then Leslie is shaking the dominoes. And we're going to see that Mickey will have the first bid. And then Aaron will have an opportunity to bid. So everyone's pulling up their 6 dominoes. Let's see, Aaron is going to win this bid. He's got ace, ace, ace 6, ace 5, 6, 6, 6, 5, and then a 3 blank and a 2 blank off. He bids 35. And then he's going to call aces, and he's going to lead. I believe he leads ace ace out of the gate on his 35 bid, which is what he does. So he pulls in the aces, and then he basically leads a 6. A 6, 6. Then he leads a 6, 5. So I imagine he's going to punt. He punts the blank 3. And Charles wins that trick. And Aaron's able to trump it with the 5-ace. Now, I believe Aaron is going to punt the 2 blank, but and then he'll have the 6-1 on the final trip. But he's thinking about it. So we'll see how this goes. Aaron is thinking a long time. Oh, he leaves the 1-6. And then Leslie's going to throw the 2-4 on the trump. And then when he punts the 2 blank at the end, Leslie's got the double deuce to catch him, and then that makes their bid.
You had both of them, so either way.
So in that hand, Aaron bid 35, and they made it. So it's now 3-2. So Charles and Mickey have 3, and Leslie and Aaron have 2. So this next shake, they're going to go around the table, and we're going to see who wins the bid. It's 3-2 currently in favor of Charles and Mickey. So
35?
let's see. And I believe, let me see here, let me look and see. Mm, 3-2. And Mickey is the shaker. And he bid 36. And he's going to go in 5s. And he had 5-5, 5-6, 5-2. He's got 4-3 behind 4-4, and he's got 6-6. So he went 35. Or 36, rather. It's pretty aggressive, actually. Because, I mean, you might lose the 4-1. And the 1 blank is an off. So you could lose the 1-4 also. Personally, I would have bid 35 on Mickey's hand, but he bid 36. So he already got a couple of 5s. Then he punts the 4-3. Interesting. Before the 4-4. Because he already got the 6-4. So that's his. Even though I guess I would have gone after the 4-1. And Charles led the 3-3 once he got the lead. Let's see. And then Mickey had the last 2 easy. So super kick. Mickey bid 36, and he made it.
I had the same lead.
So now they're ahead 4-2.
That's all I had.
And the shake is going to Aaron. Aaron will get to bid last. They're trailing 4-2. And we're going to see what he decides to do with this hand. So if it's like many of the other hands, in this case, I think Charles, let's see what Charles has. He has, oh, he's blocking the hand. Of course he is. Pretty sure he bids aggressively, though. So Aaron shook. He gets to bid last. Now, in the end, Aaron wins the bid for 37, so somebody bid 36. My guess is that it's Charles. Now, in Aaron's case, he's going to go 37 and sixes. He leads the 6-5. Charles has a low 6. And Mickey has the 6-6, but he doesn't play it. He lets Aaron have that first trick. Now Aaron has the 5-5, but let's see. Let's see here. So let's see if Aaron survives the second trick. I don't believe he will. I mean, essentially, he didn't have the 6-6. He had 6-5 and 3 other 6s. He won the first trick, but so eventually punched the 6-3. And Charles does not have count, so he throws the 3-1. Now, and Mickey had to win that with the 6-6. And he comes back and leads. Let's see, it looks like he leads the 3-2. And Aaron trumps it with the 6-4 because he has to. He can't afford to let that go. Because he can't even afford to lose a nickel. Aaron then plays his last trump, 6-2. And then Aaron's going to play the 5-5, and he'll play the 1 blank last. And one thing, and what's going to hurt him is that Charles has the ace-ace, and Mickey has the 1-4. So on the last trick, Aaron is going to get set by losing a nickel, and he can't afford to lose any count.
I was like, if you have the 4-1, you can give it to me. I made it.
So that hand got resolved, and Aaron lost his 37 gambit, and now the game is really in jeopardy. I mean, basically, Charles and Mickey have 5 marks, and Leslie and Aaron only have 2 marks. So Charles and Mickey are much closer to the 7 marks than Leslie and Aaron. They're leading this game. They're not. Just because you're up 5-2 doesn't mean you always win. But I'd rather be us than them in that situation. The team with the 5. Let's see here. So let's see. Aaron bid 37, got set. It's 5-2. So Charles just shook. So Charles is gonna come up and let's see. He's gonna go in. He's gonna win the bid. He's gonna go in 2s. He has the 2 blank, the 2-1, the 2-2. Also looks like he has the 6-3 and the 5-4, but the 5-4 is behind the 5-5. So his big, he is going to go 32 with a 6 off and no 4-4. So he has no way to pull the 6-4. But he goes in twos. He's going to, let's see here. Mickey does not have the 2-2. And so he's going to lose the first trick. Let's see. Aaron won the first trick, and then now he's deciding what to lead back. He still has the high 2, is the double 2. So he does have the double 2. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it's, I'm sorry, I got a little confused. Charles has the 2-3 and the 2 AC deucey. So Aaron's still thinking about what to play on the second trick. He goes ahead and punts the 1 blank. And Charles threw away his 6-3. Let's see. And his partner Mickey trumped it with the 4-2. So let's see what his partner Mickey does. So Aaron has won the 2 lead. He then punted a 3, and they did get the blank 5. So Aaron and Leslie won 4 tricks in the blank 5, but that's only 9 points. It's not enough to set of 32. And then Charles has the last trump, and he gets his 32. He actually got 33. So Charles makes the bid, even though he lost 4 tricks. So that puts Charles ahead. 6-2. Charles and Mickey are ahead 6-2. And then here's this particular hand, I believe. I think Leslie shook it. And now the others are going to get a chance to bid. I believe in this case, Aaron is pushing Charles. So he bids 35. Then Charles does bid 36. Leslie bids 37 in blanks. And then she loses the blank 5 on the first trick. Or no, not the first trick. She plays a blank. Everybody blanks come out. She then leads the blank 1, and Charles wins with blank 5, and she loses because she bids 37. And then Aaron says, "Hey, I was trying to push Charles, not you. I was trying to get him to overbid, not you." So he did get Charles to bid 36, but then Leslie bid 37, and she got burned to the ground. So, and then Aaron's an interesting thing. He said, "If I wanted you to bid, I would have bid 34." So that Charles would bid 35, and then you could bid 36. Except for he bid 35, so Charles would bid 36. Charles did bid 36. In fact, the most set bid is the opponent's 36 over your 35. So it's a very strong, you have very little margin with the 36. You have even less margin with the 37, and obviously Leslie was not able to make that mark at 37. She ends up she throws a 6-6. Man, she survives a couple of tricks, I guess, before she eventually, I guess she punts the blank 3, and then Charles wins it. Well, actually, let's see. Leslie does have the blank 5, so she doesn't lose that way. Well, she doesn't even have the... She's got a 5 off. She's got a 2 off. She's got 2 blanks left. My guess is she leads the 2. Oh, she leads the 5. Well, there you go. Yeah, and then yeah, so she lost the 5-5, and that was the game. So her 37 did not work, and that's game 2. So just to look at the game 2 scorecard real quick. Let's see, we can look here. Charles started with the 2 mark. Aaron notched a mark. Charles got another mark, so here's 3-1. Aaron bid 35, made it 3-2, and then that was the last mark that Aaron and Leslie won, and then Mickey won his 36. Aaron got set on 37. Charles made it 34, and Leslie got set on her 37, and that made it 7-2. So that's how that game finished. So now we're going to go on to the final table. There's a little break here. They did take a break between games 2 and 3. So at this point, Leslie and Aaron won game 1, 7-4, and then Charles and Mickey won game 2, 7-2. So there's a little break here. Just as a nice little thing, also I'll show the
Okay, it's recording.
here's the overhead view of the game, just so you kind of get an overall view of the hall. You can see the empty hall. That you can actually still see Paul and Harrison playing John and Justin in the background, and then Justin and John are going to beat Paul and Harrison for 3rd, and that's. So this is like the back away. This is the overhead cam of the table with observers along the edges. So they're going to come back here, and you start to see there's Aaron's making his way back to the table. Charles is already sitting there, just waiting for Mickey and Leslie at this point. And they're moving on to game 3. So this hand might be the craziest hand that I see Aaron play, where he bids 35. He shakes, or Leslie shook, sorry. Aaron is going to be the high bidder. He's going to bid 35 over Mickey's 34, and he's going in 4s. He's got 2 5-offs. I mean, so if you look at his hand, let's see here. Yeah, he's got 4-4, 4-6, 4-2, 4-1. He's got 5-3, 5-2, and 1-1. So Aaron has 2 5-offs, and he still bids which is amazing.
35.
He bids 35,
Fours.
which is a very aggressive bid for having 2 5-offs. So he does start out with the good old 4-4. Or he doesn't start out with the 4-4. He starts out with... But he definitely does not lead one of the 5s to start out. Yeah, the 5-4 won the first trick, and that was Charles won it. And then Charles led, and then Mickey got the lead. And when Mickey got the lead, he actually leads 6-5, which is a lead that lets, I mean, what happened was is that Charles led the 3-3, and, you know, Aaron was able to dump his 3-5. And then, or Charles putted a 3, Mickey got it with the 3-3, and Aaron was able to dump 3-5. And then, you know, Mickey came back with 6-5 and did not play a 5 to try and set him. I wasn't paying attention to see if Mickey had a 5, but 6-5 is like it's like giving it away, because 6s they're usually only going to lose a penny if you lead them when 4s are trump, which they are. And then that allowed Aaron to dump his 5-2, and then from then on out it was all trumps and doubles. So Aaron bid 35 on a hand that was definitely not a 35. Maybe he was trying to push Charles. Or actually, Leslie shook, so I don't know. Anyway, Charles didn't take the bait. But then Aaron got lucky and made it anyway. So right now it's 1-0 in favor of Aaron and Leslie in game 3. So in the second game, you have, let's see. Charles is going to bid 31 in deuces. And then he punts out of the gate. Aaron gets the first trick with 6-6, because Charles punted a 6, but he has 6-4. So Aaron got the lead. And Aaron leads back a 5, but the only 5 that Charles has is the 5-2, which is trump. So he's able to trump the 5 with just a little baby 2. And Leslie over trumps with the 3-2. So what it was is that Aaron led a 5. Charles trumped it with the 2 AC deucey. Leslie also had no 5. She over trumped with the 2-3. And then Mickey had the 5-5 and the 5 blank, but either one would set him because he bid 31. And they already lost the first trick. So with the loss of the 3-2 and the 5 blank on the second trick, you just lost another 11 plus the 1 you lost already, and that's 12. That's too much for 31. So Charles got set. You could also see Aaron doing his little fist pump. Yeah, 2-0. So Aaron doesn't get excited or nothing when he wins. It's not competitive. Yeah. Okay. So game 3 or hand 3. You got here we go. And Aaron is gonna bid that shocker 30. Let's see here. It looks like Aaron has blank, blank, blank 6, blank 3, blank 1, blank 5. So he's got 5 blanks. He's got a 6 off and a 5 off. So Aaron bids 30, and he's got 2 dominoes that can kill him. As I recall, I think on this hand he leads out the blank blank, and Leslie throws a blank. But then on the second trick, he leads out the blank 6, and Leslie's able to give him the 6-4. And then when she does that, then he can punt his 6, and it's not dangerous because the fact that 6-4 is already in. Now at this point he's got a 5 off and three blanks. He knows the blank 5 is not gonna fall when 5s are led if he leads the 5. So Minky got the lead. And what did he do? He led back 4-4. My belief is that Aaron can just toss the 5-2 and then have the rest, because he's already gotten the 5-5. Oh, he doesn't have the 5-5 yet. He's tossing the 4. Charles had a 4, so he doesn't lose the count, and then he's gonna have the rest of the trumps, and then that'll win the rest of the tricks, and then Aaron will easily make his 30, and that makes it 3-0 in favor of Charles. I'm sorry, in favor of Leslie and Aaron. So Leslie and Aaron are up 3-0, and Charles is shaking aggressively so that he mixes them up, because obviously he's down 3-0. He'd like to get some marks. So far, it's one game. First game was 7-4 in favor of Leslie and Aaron. Second game was 7-2 in favor of Charles and Mickey, and now this is game 3. And in game 3, Aaron and Leslie are winning 3-0 at this point. Charles shook. So Leslie bids first, and Leslie has, let's see what she has. 3-3, 4-3. My guess is that Leslie passes. And then Mickey has 5-5, 5-4, 6-6, 6-3. He's going to go in threes, I guess. I see. So Mickey went 35. He punched the 5-4 out of the gate. And Leslie's going to win it with the 5-6. Because... And then he loses the 5 blank. Yeah. So it says 3's trump, he lives at 5-4. Maybe it was Charles that had the 6-5. So I think, oh, I see the problem. Leslie has 3 blank, 3-4, and 5, and 3-3, and Mickey went threes. And Aaron has, he didn't have any count really, but he's really whittling it down. So they've won 4 tricks. So I think on the second to the last trick, or the third to the last trick, Leslie just dumps for 5-2. And the problem is that Charles has the 6-4. And he hasn't played it. He couldn't get it in. So even though he won all the tricks so far, Leslie's last 2 tricks is she wins the second last trick with 4-3, then she has the double, and she gets Charles's 6-4. And that murders Mickey's 35, and then they're set. So now they're losing 4-0. So, you know, Game 1 went to Leslie and Aaron 7-4. Game 2 went to Charles and Mickey 7-2. Game 3 4-0 in favor of Leslie and Aaron at the moment. So they're looking pretty solid currently. And winning the first 4 marks. So Leslie shook this one. Charles is going to bid 35 in aces. Charles has the double ace, the ace 4, and the ace 2. My guess is he's going to punt the ace 2 out of the gate. He's going to bid 35. He's got the blank and the 4-4. He does punt the ace 2. And then Mickey is going to have the ace 6 to win it with. Mickey is going to lead back. But he did not lead back 5-5. Yeah, like he punted Trump back, and then Charles punted a 3, and Leslie won it with 3-3. But Aaron didn't have. He had a 3, and it was not count. So they've won 1 point so far. So now Leslie's deciding what to do. Let's see. I don't know. She's got a 5 off, a 4 off, 6-4, and 6-6. So we'll see what Leslie decides to lead. She's thinking about it. She's still thinking. She's trying to figure out how to set Charles. She eventually leads to 6-6. And Charles, I believe, dumps his blank 2. Right. Yeah, so at this point, Leslie is still in the lead. And she's probably... she leads 5-4. Okay, that makes sense. But Mickey has the 5-5. And so that makes his... he gets his bid. Charles made his 35. And so now it's 4-1. So it was 4-0. Now Charles and Mickey are starting their long road back to trying to tie the game. They just need 3 more marks. So Aaron shook that one. They are going to print out their dominoes, and they're deciding what to do. Let's see here. So actually, here's the situation where Mickey does the same thing that Charles did in game 1, where he's going to go 31, and he has a number of 5s. Let's see, he has 5-6, 5-2, 5-1, 5 blank. He's got double ace, blank 2, blank 3. So he goes in 5s. He bids 31. He punts a 5 out of the gate, probably 5-1. And as it turns out, oh no, it's 5-2. Well, whatever. He punts 5-2. Charles turns out has the 5-5. So, of course, he can win it with that. And then Charles comes back with some leads. Now he leads 3-3, and then Leslie trumps it with 5-3. But so Leslie does play Interruptus, and I believe she leads 2. So they do get that trick. And then Mickey has the rest. So that's enough to make it 2-4. So it was 4-0, but then the last 2 marks, Charles and Mickey have won. And they're planning on this is the final game. This is game 3, the final table at Hallettsville. At the Kolache Fest, second largest 42 tournament in the world. Charles and Mickey are playing Leslie and Aaron for the championship. And it's been a long day. I mean, they've had to play, it's an 8 round bracket from 64 to 32 to 16 to 8 to 2, or to 4-2. And so they had to, at least Leslie's case, they played all the rounds. So they played first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round. This is the 6th round. So they had to play 6 matches to win the Kolache Fest. And then we had a 5-game round robin in the morning. And as I recall, Leslie and Aaron were 3-2 in the 5-game round robin. Myself and Jody, we were 4-1. We were the number 4 seed. But then we lost to Alan Clute and Kin from Abilene. They won game 1. We won game 2 7-0, but it doesn't matter because Jody got a 2 mark in game 3. We went up 4-3, and then they got a lay down 2 mark right after that, and they went back up 5-4, and then we tied it at 5, and then they got the last 2 marks. So that's how it goes. Some Domino's said no, and that happens. So in this case, let's see, Mickey bid 33, and 3s are trump in this hand. But she eventually does lead the 3-3. And then he's got the 4-4, 2-2. He's got 2 more doubles. So Charles bid, or that was Mickey bid 33, made it, and now they are at 3-4. So they were trailing 0-4. They're down by 4 marks. Now they're only down by 1. So this next hand, Charles is shaking, which means Leslie will bid first, then Mickey, then Aaron, then Charles has the hammer. So in this case, Aaron is going to bid 36. He's got the blank 5 off, which this is what eventually will kill him. And I don't know why he didn't think about this, but he's got the 1-1, the 1-6, the 1-3, and the 1 blank, and then he's got the 2-2 and the blank blank. So the only way to really try to get out of the lead and to dump your blank 5 is to punt an ace out of the gate. But then you're risking losing the 1-4 and potentially. I mean, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 aces, 2 doubles, and the blank 5. That's what Aaron has, and he's going 36 with the blank 5 off. So and then Mickey ends up having the 5-5. So I think whenever Aaron finally does have to lead the 5-5, he's yeah. So he did punt out of the gate, or he did play the 1-1. He didn't punt. Played 1-1, 1-6. So he actually fished all of Leslie's, so she couldn't help him. Even if she had had a higher one, he didn't give her an opportunity to keep it. And at this point, there's just no way to lose the lead. You have the last trump. You got 2 more doubles, and you got the blank 5. We tried that little trick where he plays the 1 blank because the 1-3 is still out there, like making maybe Charles throws count on it because I'm desperate. All right, so he plays the blank 5, and then Mickey plays the 5-5, and they're dead. And that's game. So then that actually tied it at 4. So Leslie and Aaron won the first 4 marks, and then Charles and Mickey won the next 4 marks. So it is tied 4 marks to 4 marks at the final table in Hallettsville. It's pretty crazy. Let's see what else we got here. We got so this is the 4-4 game. Charles is going to bid 31, and he goes in 6s, and 6. He punts 6-1 out of the gate. So let's see. He's got 6-6, 6-1, 6-2, 4-4, 5-3, 4-3, 2-1. So that's an awful lot of offs to go. Let's see here. Anyway, it goes 31. Let's see. Leslie has 6-5. She also has 6-4. So Leslie wins the 6-4. Charles punts 6 out of the gate. Leslie wins the 6-4. Okay, they won money, so they set Charles his 31. And Leslie said, "You could have not bid it." And then Charles said, "Your point is." So clearly not susceptible to ribbing about his bidding patterns. Charles is going to be Charles. So let's see. Now Leslie and Aaron are up 5-4.
Did you have 2 6s though? Oh yeah.
Charles, I will tell you, the doghouse, you won't need to go 36.
See that cardinal?
That will usually get it. Okay, that's why. Okay.
They're going to be. So let's see. Charles just bid 31. He got set. It's 4-5. So on this one, Charles is going to bid 32 and aces. So in this case, Leslie is going to trump. She has ace, ace 2. So Leslie is looking to set him. She plays the 1-1. So she'll know that Aaron does not have. Let's see here.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
So Charles bid 32. Leslie ended up trumping the 5-5. And Aaron had the 6-4 to throw, but he didn't need to because Leslie set him before it even got to that point. And so it's 4-6. That Leslie and Aaron are on the pole, and Charles and Mickey have 4. So it's 6-4 right now. They all shook. And Aaron is going to go ahead and actually, this is pretty dramatic. Charles opens up. Aaron shook. Charles opens the bidding at 36. I'm trying to see what Charles has that justifies. He's got 5-3. He's got 2-2, ace, another 2, another blank. So Charles has blank, blank, blank 4, blank 3, blank 2, 5-3, ace, 2-2. So Charles is bidding 36 with a 5 off. And there, Aaron has 4-4, and he's also got 6-5, 6-2, 6-6, and then he's got 5-5, 5-1, 4-1. So Aaron is going to go ahead and bid 37 on this hand in 5s.
37. 5.
So of course he leads the double 5 because that's what you do. Mickey has to play his 5-4. So Aaron wins the first trick with the 5-5, and then I think he plays the 4-4. And the 4-6 falls. And then this is shocking to me. Bids 37. He leads the 4 ace. And let's see. Charles does not have a 5. Mickey does not have a 5. So they can't trump his 4-1 lead. But the 4-1 lead would set him if Leslie does not have the 4-3, which she does have. She also has 5-2. So she has another trump, but the other opponents do not have that. So Leslie leads the 6-1. And Mickey is going to play the 6-6, I think. Yeah. And then Aaron plays and then Mickey led his double. And then Aaron trumps it, and Leslie throws the 3-2 on it. So at that point, they have the 5-5, the 6-4, the 5 blank, the 4-1, and the 3-2, and 4 tricks. So Aaron's about to count it out and say that he sees 39 points. He bid 37. So they made it. And they're going to celebrate. 39, they're going to shake hands, and they're going to agree that that is legit, and everybody shakes hands.
Okay, it's recording. You can go.
And you can see the overhead video is a little trailing here, but you can see the final.
And then there were 2.
Hand is here. I'll come back to that in a minute. Yeah, so the main video feeds they've cut out. So we're gonna leave it here on the overhead. Now the overhead, this is kind of showing the final hand again. So this is the one where Aaron bids 37 with the 2 6-offs. And he's got 4-1 behind 4-4. Let's see. Oh, they might be significantly behind, actually. Let's see. Yeah, this is not the final hand yet. You can still see that they're, yeah, they haven't shaken hands yet. So they're still keeping track of things. You could now. The nice thing about the overhead shot is you can see the overall progress of the overhead shot view.
It is. That's almost like World Series of Poker style, bro.
And that's it. So I won't drag this on any longer, but essentially you got the sense of the final table. The winning team is Leslie and Aaron have beaten Charles and Mickey for the win. And congratulations to them.